Okay, so now we get to make our choice again. Okay. I wanted to check that out, because if I was playing the actual game, the first thing I would do is head down to New Londo and pick up the Firekeeper's soul. But it would appear that I am not allowed to die at all in this visual novel. So let's take the stairs, the way that the game... The intended route that you are supposed to take. I guess we're going to have to follow that. Take the stairs up. No point in deliberating. I have to start this quest sometime. I stride over to the stairs and begin climbing, pausing at the landing to gather myself. My hand finds the hilt of my sword as I make the last few steps. I round the corner to see a hollow standing at a small plateau, preceding more stairs. So, you just straight up had a screenshot of the ghosts in New Londo, but for an undead soldier? It is a cartoon with no legs. Okay. There's no light in its eyes. Its limbs are thin and worn. One hand wrapped firmly around the hilt of a broken straight sword. That's not broken. The other behind a cracked wooden shield. That's not a wooden shield. Not exceptionally well equipped. I instinctively carry out a well-practiced motion. Right hand drawing my sword, the left reaching behind to pull my shield free. Another step forward. Hollow notices me, letting out a low groan and shuffling in my direction. Raising its sword arm, my shield comes up instinctively. The Hollow swings down hard. Its blunt sword bounces harmlessly off my shield. It seems neither to understand nor care. I know I can't simply block forever. Taking a step back, I give myself a little more room and swing my considerably more impressive sword across its chest. That is a very big font change. A thin trail of red traces the arc of the blade, a small spray of dark blood spurting from the wound. Yet the Hollow is not so easily dispatched. It raises its sword again. My shield arm follows suit. Continually blocking is a truly exhausting effort, especially given that the Hollows strike much harder than their spindly arms would suggest. Another blow bounces from my shield. The Hollow is momentarily stunned from the impact, and I seize the opportunity to bury my longsword deep in its chest. Now, familiar glow of souls pour into me as it collapses. I take my time to look around. There is a second Hollow nearby, but it does not seem to have noticed me. I give my shield arm a second to recover before stepping forward again. As before, this Hollow notices me only when I am a few steps away, turning to take a swing. Its strike falls short. I step forward, chambering my sword arm for a strong thrust. A second too late, I catch it pivoting with a backswing, straight for my left side. Too committed to the strike, I have no time or footing to raise my shield. His sword proves sharp enough to cut through the leather between the plates of my chest, sinking in with a dull squishing sound. Alive or undead, taking a sword to the gut is always going to be painful. The whole region lights up in searing pain. Thankfully, the benefit of being undead means this won't be lethal. I let out a groan and recoil from the strike, but remain on my feet. My sword, on the other hand, seems to have done substantially more work to the Hollow, its body sliding neatly off the blade. I stumble back a few steps and reach to my hip for my Estus flask. A long swig from the emerald flask fills me with warmth and energy. The feeling of Estus is reassuring, nothing like anything else here. A glance down reveals my side to be already healed, a fast fading mark being all that's left of what might have killed a man moments ago. God, I love Estus. A third Hollow is before me, similarly oblivious to my presence, unlike his friends. He seems a little more lucid, holding a robust-looking shield and an unbroken sword. Want absolutely nothing to do with him, which proves convenient, but he seems not to care when I take the stairs to my left. At the top of the stairs is another Hollow, this one without a shield. As it notices me, I drive my back foot down and raise my shield, preparing for an always unpleasant round of disadvantage, when I realise the Hollow's not moving, but throwing? Shield up just in time. The small sphere collides against it, and intense heat bursts out, covering the ground in front of me and making my arm recoil back against the sudden heat. A firebomb? Hollow reaches for another, and I scramble for a plan. He tosses another, and I dive forward, over the top of the stairs, rolling forward towards him. I hear the second firebomb light up the area behind me as I drive the sword in a cleaving vertical strike, coming out of the roll, sending the firebomb Hollow collapsing down over the edge. My left arm shoots up reflexively, a figure appearing in the corner of my eye. I turn in time to see a battle axe lowered into the shield, grazing off the left thanks to the ankle. Right foot forward, shield arm counter turns, sword arm up, pivot chest, rotate. The blade glides fast and strong, directly across the neck of the axe-wielding Hollow. A glow of souls reassures me they're dealt with. I take a much-needed breath. For seemingly so mindless in combat, they sure seem positioned to give me as much grief as possible. A narrow flight of stairs comes to lead me inside the bridge connecting Firelink to the walled inner areas. A final Hollow stands at their peak. At least individually, these Hollows aren't too hard to handle if approached with patience and focus. Though clearly out for blood, they seem unfamiliar with the subtleties of combat, openly displaying intent to attack and apparently showing little regard for defense. The Hollow before the opening into the bridge is more a challenge of footing than anything else. It stands there staring mindlessly on a tiny ledge, a thin trickle of water running off it from the nearby sewer channel. Planting myself firmly at the base of the stairs, I wait for him to charge down toward me. A slight tilt of my shield sends its weight toward the edge as it strikes it. Without bothering with the sword at all, I sink a heavy kick into its chest, sending the Hollow careening off the edge. A few moments later, the glow of souls confirms it's hit the bottom of the deep channel. Entering the bridge through a small door leaves me in what looks like a sewer channel. An enormous rat squeals and turns away from me, running over to bury its head in a body leaning against the wall. I grimace and ignore it, trudging through the shallow water, though it might be hard to be called that, until I reach another opening to my left. From the distance I walked, I should be inside the walled area I could see from Firelink by now. I climb the staircase out of the tunnel into Undeadburg. Unsurprisingly, climbing the staircase out of the sewer channel into the burg puts me face to face with a new set of Hollows, one holding an axe, another a sword. Again, patience is the biggest problem. That and knowing when to give your instincts control and when to restrain them. It's far too easy to lash out at the first opportunity, leaving you vulnerable. But too defensive a stance will give your opponent the initiative, letting him control the flow of battle. A kick buys time to finish one Hollow, and while the other recovers, a lighter, less committed attack stuns the Hollow mid-swing, giving time for a heavier blow. Two more down, and another one bites the dust. I progress through the burg. A few sloppy mistakes take a hit on my Estus flask, but nothing more serious. Ahead, there's three Hollows and a crossbow above. Tricky. Thankfully, the crossbow Hollow fires with predictable rhythm. 2 blocks, 1 strike, dodge the bolt, repeat. After dispatching the 3 Hollows below, I climb the stairs, hugging the right wall. I hear the thwack of a bolt being released and charged up to the Hollow, driving my sword through its chest with cathartic satisfaction. Taking a moment to look around, I wander through an arched doorway to the left. It's a room full of crates and barrels, probably a storeroom of some sort. An unlit bonfire, like the one in Firelink, rests here, completely unattended. Almost an instinct, I drop to a knee and strike my flint against my sword, letting the sparks fall across the bones littered around the base of the fire. Needing no further encouragement, it lights up with a dull glow. Flames slowly work their way up the icon poker embedded in it, until I'm sitting before a modest but calming fire. The bonfire is soothing, as if an endless fountain of Estus. Indeed, I hold my flask up to it, and feel it grow heavier, full of warmth and life again. I take a deep breath and rest a while. Feeling surprisingly well rested for the short break, I step up again, once again drawing my sword and shield as I exit the doorway. A small stone bridge over a deep channel of buildings seems like the way forward, and I move towards it, just as a firebomb explodes across it. Small groups of hollow, perched on a wooden platform a few floors up, are lugging firebombs at the narrow crossing, giving me all the more reason to believe they're smarter than they act up close. It doesn't seem to add up. Many of them are well positioned in smart formations and positions, yet up close they are sluggish, hardly reacting to the ebb and flow of battle, as if following a predetermined script. Interesting. Noticing the rhythm of the bombs, I raise my shield to the left and sprint across, reaching a new room of hollows. A familiar pattern. They're dispatched without issue, save a small axe wound to the shoulder. Another of them thought to kick down the door. Oh, a small axe wound, not wound. Done. That being said, it's hard to describe any axe wound as small. More Estes take care of it, thankfully filled by the recent bonfire. As I progress upward, the strange pattern continues. Two well-positioned melee defenders protecting a firebomb thrower, almost immediately giving up their well-planned position to charge right for me. Perhaps they're grouping up, a habit of a time before undeath. Or perhaps just before they were hollowed so. Behind them, a locked door opens to my master key, which continues to prove exceptionally useful, revealing a small chest. Inside, I find a pouch of strange yellow powder. No. Resin! Yes, this is familiar. Gold pine resin. A rare resin, collected, dried and powdered. It's said that coating a weapon in it will imbue it with the power of lightning. Running some of it through my fingers, I see the light golden sparks jump between the grains. Perhaps there's some truth to the rumour. I take it. Pocketing the resin, I drop down from the small ledge and proceed up some nearby stairs. A hollow, a mist at the top of the stairs, kicked a barrel down at me. Damn! Diving out of the way saves me just in time. Too close. I need to be more careful. The hollow that did it is dispatched with much satisfaction. Entering the door he was guarding leaves me in a large tower, a spiraling staircase on one side and a door that presumably leads down on the other. Tempting as the door looks, I've already decided on ringing the upper bell. There's only one direction for me. Damn it, I wanted to fight Havel. Or, considering this is a visual novel, I wanted to woo Havel. The top of the tower is a large archway, flooded with a thick white fog. Waving my arm through it, it feels dense and heavy, but passable. However, it's impossible to tell what lies beyond. The mist seems to absorb all light and sound. It carries a sense of importance about it, and not a small amount of danger. I like it. I guess I have to. On the other side of the fog, it becomes obvious I'm on top of one of the higher outer walls of the Berg. The tower I was just in would have linked this wall to the others in a full circle, had the opposite doorway not collapsed. Further down the wall, most of the parapets have been destroyed, as if crushed by a huge force. This looks remarkably unsafe. Well, I didn't get all the way up here to stand still and think about the scenery. What's the fog protecting anyway? This wall doesn't seem to be remarkable. Tightening my grip on my sword, I step away from the fog and onto the wall. A glance behind me shows there's a ladder near the archway. I exited, leading to the top of the tower. I make a note to have a look up there later. A low rumble draws my attention to the tower across the wall from me. What? Oh. I was hoping to see a female Taurus demon. Although, to be fair, I guess it's more of a mini-boss than a boss, same as Capra Demon. What the hell is that? An enormous demon with the head of a bull, holding a hammer larger than my entire body, as if it weighs nothing, is staring at me. It's roaring. I can't move. My right foot slides back into a defensive stance. My shield arm meekly rises. Not that blocking that hammer would help all that much. It takes a step towards me. I can feel the ground letting out a small shudder as one of its huge hooves lands. I need options. Now. My mind is racing. I shuffle back slightly, knowing full well it won't help at all. Options. Now. The ladder. I could try and climb it and attack from above. I have been able to make it before if I'd acted immediately, but now it'd be close. I could hold my ground, block and counterattack. My most practiced strategy. Don't like the look of that hammer. but I might be able to take just a single hit and try and cripple it from here. Neither of those sounds great. I could try and abuse my mobility, dive past its attack and move to the other side of the bridge. How fast could it possibly swing that hammer? Hopefully not fast enough. That's risky too. More steps by the demon. It looks so damn angry, so huge. I need to decide now. Holding your ground definitely does not seem like the correct choice here. Rolling through it, like the two ways to fight the Taurus demon is climb the tower or roll through his attacks and just whittle him down. It's quicker to climb the tower, and rolling through you can cock up quite easily. We're gonna go with the tower. The ladder, if I can make it to the top, give me a lot of options. I turn and sprint for the ladder, ignoring the roar of the demon behind me. I hear the sound of hooves hitting stone in quick succession. Looks like it doesn't like my plan. I set my shield on my back as I run, hitting the ladder fast. No turning back now. Begin to climb, one hand over another. No turning back. Next rung, next rung. My left leg crushes against the stone wall. The metal ladder it was resting against bent flat against it as if it were paper. I find I suddenly can't see properly. Everything's red, blurry, painful. Where exactly am I? Deafening roar snaps me out of it. At the base of the ladder, yellow eyes full of hatred glare at me. A raised hammer. Oh. Well, shit. Alright. I guess roll through his attacks then. What are my advantages here? He's bigger, stronger, and in the better position. He doesn't have a shield, but with the strength and size difference here, it hardly seems to matter. Speed. Yes, I have that. There's no way to swing that hammer faster than I'll be able to react. Time to do something stupid. Not that being here in the first place isn't stupid. My right foot slides back just a little deeper than usual. My weight shifts just slightly forwards. Timing has to be perfect. I know how to move around it. I can dodge it. It's all about if I can dodge in time. Too eagerly or too late and it's all over. Patience is one thing, but patience with the resolve to act immediately when necessary is another. Another step. It's close now. And another. Probably close enough to hit me. I tense my back leg. It roars, raising the hammer over its head. Its right arm twitches. I tell. The beast really lacks subtlety. This is actually kind of well done. Where was this earlier? My right foot explodes off the ground, sending me forward. Pass past the right leg of the Taurus demon as I hear its hammer crush into the stone where I was standing on half a second ago. My arm touched the ground and push off lightly, bringing my legs up over my head in a well-practiced rolling motion. A move that's so useless against most conventional enemies sure comes in handy at times like this. No time to think about how amazing that probably looked. As soon as I regain my footing, I twist for a broad strike against the back of the demon's leg. I was right. It's slow. Not fast enough to turn to stop me here, even if it wasn't trying to lift that hammer up at the same time. The skin is thick and hard, but thankfully not so much that a well-placed strike isn't effective. A deep red line is drawn across the back of its right thigh. Not enough to immobilize the beast, but enough to slow it down. Enough to hurt it. I raise my sword up again for a stab this time as I see a huge three-fingered hand coming towards me. Too greedy. The punch lands on my chest, more than enough force to send me flying back along the edge of the wall. Worse angle and I'd be off the side right now. I suppose I should call myself lucky. But it's harder to do that when you think you're certain there are several broken bones in you. You just can't tell which ones yet. Cringing, pick myself up again. Still able to stand. That's a good sign. Everything seems to be working. I let myself feel just a little pleased about being able to take a hit like that without it ending the fight. Beast roars, lifts its huge hammer again, turning to face me with an earth-shaking stomp. Trading hits like that won't go well for me. I thought that strike to its leg could make it much slower, but it seems angrier, if that's even possible, more than anything else. It's got to be moving a little slower, right? Yeah, much slower. Got to be! But it's coming at me quickly, too quickly. Now that I think about it, why am I even holding my shield anymore? Even if I manage to catch the hit with it, it won't do me much good. Either the force of the hit will send me flying off the edge, or worse, it'll crush me against the ground. Hell, it could probably do both of those even without the hammer. I hook my shield on my back and bring my other hand to the hilt of my sword. A fight like this is much more dangerous, both for myself and anyone I'm fighting. To remove the comfort I find behind the shield, even if I knew it was meaningless here, makes me feel vulnerable. Naked, vulnerable, dangerous. I face the demon. It stopped. No, not stopped. Its legs crouch slightly and it lowers its shoulder. It's about to jump. Strike for the heart or roll under it. It's a massive beast. You are not going to want to stab a massive beast that is jumping at you in the heart, because even if you kill it, it'll just squish you like a pancake. We're going to fucking roll under it. I don't want to be anywhere near that when he strikes. Leaping into attack with that strength and that hammer is gross overkill. Fighting against natural instinct to back away from things like this, I throw myself forward towards it. It launches upwards, just as I suspected, and as before, I dive towards it, this time looking to go under its legs. Recovering from a roll without holding onto a shield is much easier. I quickly start to rise, before the entire wall shakes, a sizable rock flying past my face. Another clipping off the shield on my back. Ah, I see he landed. This is familiar. Only time for a single strike, no room for mistakes here. Getting hit next to a broken section of the wall won't end well for me. I raise the sword over my right shoulder, both hands gripping tightly, thrust deep into the side of the beast. It lets out a furious roar and turns towards me. Apparently having forgotten that its hammer weighs anything by lifting it without hesitation. I can't be here. The tower. If I run for it, I could probably make it up the ladder before it makes it to me. I turn and sprint. Any hesitation here removes that option. It's far too valuable to lose. I hit the rungs of the ladder and start climbing. Behind me I hear a skip in the pattern of hoof steps behind me and roar. You probably tripped. That first slash across the leg might be paying off for me. It should buy me enough time. My hand hits stones at the top, and I scramble to peel myself up the last few rungs. The tower shakes, and I lose my grip for a second. A glance down shows the demon has reached the tower too. Decided to try and destroy the ladder. I managed to keep my hold, but there's no climbing back up here again. I peel myself over the edge and stand up. Two hollow archers here seem to have completely missed the battle going on below, until just now. As they turn around to face me from the opposite side of the tower, I do not have time for this. I ignore the shield, as they both draw aim their crossbows. Got to take a guess. They release at the same time as I sidestep it. These two are just as predictable as the hollow in the berg earlier. Both are eliminated with a single broad strike across their necklines. The bridge is narrow, the teamer can't be anywhere else. It's suddenly so clear. The tower's top stretches out before me, the brick lining surrounding the top of the tower with a break more than large enough for me. Exactly where the Taurus demon will be. I grip my sword a little higher and raise it to my right. Quietly mutter a prayer to myself and sprint for the edge of the tower. Oh yeah! Wait, what? Oh yeah! I was worried for a second there. I thought it was about to say I died.